Welcome to Inside the Listing. This is the very first podcast episode. Today, I've got Cole Whisenhunt. He's at Keller Williams with the Whisenhunt Group. I couldn't think of anybody else better to start this off with. When I got started, I kind of heard him. I heard about his group in the industry. Always kind of saw him as top of the leaderboard in real estate here in Lubbock. So I'm really happy that I have you on as my very first episode.
Thanks, man. That means a
Yeah,
lot. It really does.
yeah,
And I'm excited to be here and have a
yeah.
good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just kind of getting started. What got you into real estate and what kept you in it?
Man, getting started, Tara Newton works at Keller Williams Realty. Her and my wife are very good friends growing up.
Yeah.
She's the CEO there. and man, she's got a ton of passion, energy, getting people into real estate, great teacher, coach, all these things. But then I asked her one day, I was like, hey, you talk to a lot of people about you think they'd be really good at real estate. You've never asked me. Do you think I'd not be good at it?
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my gosh, I think you'd be great at it."
Yeah.
And I just thought you'd never leave coaching, and so that's what I did for a long time was coach and teach.
Okay.
But we got to a point of having children, and I wanted to be home a little more and something a little more flexible.
Yeah.
And so that's what got me into it and thinking about that path.
Yeah.
And
Flexible. Like,
yeah,
you know?
flexible.
Yeah.
And when you say what kept you in it, right?
Yeah.
It is the balance of how do you have flexibility and you want to live that life, but also you can't abuse it
Oh,
to
100%.
be able to stay in it.
Yeah.
So staying in real estate has been, I love change. I love fast pace. I love relationships. I love a challenge. And we know real estate can be a beautiful challenge at times. So
Yeah.
all that has kept me in it and enjoying it.
Yeah. Good. So, how many years have you been in it now?
A little over 12.
Okay. 12.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So, did you instantly start your group or were you like a solo agent? Like, where'd you kind of start beginning ish?
Yeah. So it was about a year on my own.
Yeah.
And then, man, really blessed early on and started to pick up enough business where it made me start to think,
Yeah.
do I need some help?
Hmm.
And at first I was just hard headed. It's like, no, I'll do it on my own.
Yeah.
I'll kind of do it my way. I've heard of this other
Right.
stuff, but I can do it all. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people can't do it by themselves, but I can.
Yeah.
And so I figured out very quickly is I'm either going to give poor service or I'm going to have to turn people down.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do either one of those.
Right.
You know, just laying in bed at night and the first time you have 10 under contract at a time. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, especially wearing all those hats, like,
Yes.
having to do every
Yep.
single task,
That's
it's
it.
it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you start a new journey of, okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
look into what it looks like to lead a team. And that's a whole nother,
Yeah.
skill base and set and being a leader
Yeah.
and having your business while also coaching and training and
Mm.
hiring people for operational roles, all those things.
Yeah.
And I think part of your question is, what's kept you in real estate is also that, man, just the ability to bring others along, train up, lead, encourage. That's a big reason why I enjoy the job.
Yeah. That's awesome. I guess you being a coach kind of helped you morph, your team to where
Yeah.
you're kind of a little bit able to coach a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's awesome in Lubbock? I mean, there's so many good realtors who used to be coaches and teachers. It's just a natural thing.
Yeah.
It's like you have the hope, the enthusiasm, the
Right.
way to coach and teach people through a transaction
Yeah.
and lead them. And yeah, I think it helped tremendously.
Yeah. I have heard a lot of teachers, like transitioning into
Yeah.
real estate, so that's interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
sure.
So kind of diving into the meat of this. What do you think a seller is really looking for whenever they go to hire an agent?
Yeah, without a doubt, number one is trust.
Yeah.
It's why referral is the highest source to gaining business
For sure.
is because it's who have you used? Were you comfortable with them? Did you have a great process with them or journey? And so it's trust is number one. And that's built over time and built through referrals and do what you say you're going to do, all those things. And I think number two is professionalism. So when I say professionalism, I think it's being able to interpret the market. I
Yeah.
think it's what is your marketing for their home.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I don't think sellers know that they're hiring and maybe you should question or interview a little more on. So if there's any sellers, going to watch this,
Yeah.
it's negotiation.
Yeah.
And man, negotiation, there's all different across the board of how it works, who's good at it, who's learning it,
Yeah.
who's confident there.
Right.
And so I think a true real estate professional is going to be a great negotiator. And you're a great negotiator only when you have confidence, you know
Yeah,
contracts, you know the market, you're interpreting currently what's going on.
for sure.
Man, those are the two that hit my mind the most. And if you don't have trust, I mean, then
Yeah, you don't have
you
anything.
don't have anything. So it builds
Yeah,
off that and then leads into professionalism and how you show up.
yeah,
I kind of always joke around that when you leave a listing appointment, this is for all the real estate agents, right? It's like you walk out, and I heard this a long time ago. The sellers are not like high fiving each other, like, "Oh man, we got him. We tricked him. He's gonna work for us."
yeah,
It's like they're thinking, "Did we just make the right decision? I hope he says what he's said he's gonna do. Is that really the price?" And so then you got to show up early and often in that listing process. So within, a couple hours of leaving, there's a follow-up of what the next steps are. The next day, here's where we're at. The first week of showings, be on it. I mean, all that stuff just shows professionalism and that they are top of mind for you.
yeah. And I think, that sharpening, some skills of like confidence and sales even, would probably help, doing some of that whenever you're going to negotiate or, whenever they have the confidence to go into that listing presentation. Because if you're confident,
Yeah,
then your sellers are going to see that too, right? Like,
100%.
like if you're
Yeah,
nervous and they kind of can see that, then they're going to feel a little bit that same way.
yep,
Which I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
sure.
And I think the more repetitions that you do, the better and better
Yeah.
you'll get.
But
Um,
even yeah, I'm encouraging agents all the time, first couple listing appointments are nervous. When those agents have come to trainings, or we've sat down and we've practiced some things, we've gone through the questions that they're going to get, the
yeah,
objections we're going to get. They're already knowing the market, the numbers, showing some houses, shadowing some agents. You're already ahead of 95% of sellers.
yeah,
And so you think, I don't know anything. Well, at least you've been here doing it for however long in sales meetings, and we've looked at these numbers to say, in this price range, this is the inventory,
for sure.
right?
Yeah,
It's a 5-to-1 ratio or 1-to-5 ratio. Only one out of every five is selling. Here's where we need to price. And if you drop below that tier, you have X amount more likelihood to sell. It's like you already know way more than them. Go in with that confidence. And where you don't know something, it's okay to say, you know what? I need to do some more research on
yeah,
that. I've viewed your home now. I want to go do some homework and I'll come back with the right answer.
yeah,
I think even that displays confidence.
for
That's
sure.
better than I'm not a fake it till you make it guy.
Yeah,
I don't believe in that.
yeah.
Um,
Especially like if you're sitting there thinking that you know everything or trying to feel like you know everything, I think the seller would appreciate you saying, "I don't know this question, but I will gladly leave, figure it out, and let you know."
Absolutely.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think they would appreciate that too.
Yeah. I think so.
Um, what's one big thing that you do for your sellers that most agents probably don't?
Man, this one is pretty easy or stands out for me in a sense of I like to go to the areas that are probably the harder conversations
Hmm,
and not going to dance around and hope they don't ask things.
yeah,
So the one specific scenario I'd give you right now is, the last 2 years in real estate, there's been a lot of lawsuits, right?
yeah,
And there's been a lot of transparency questions and compensation. Contracts have changed and every 6 months feels like there's some big change on the contract.
yeah,
I dive right into that. And so I know a lot of agents are here and say, man, you didn't really have to talk about that. It didn't come up. And I'm like, no, I'm bringing it up.
yeah.
And so, especially when there's multiple agents interviewing, I will go through this in detail of,
Mhm.
have y'all heard about lawsuits in real estate the last couple of years? I'm just curious. And because they've read headlines,
Yeah,
some have, some haven't, but most have read
right.
some sort of headline,
They
like
probably heard something.
heard
Yeah,
something. It's like, hey, let's address that and
yeah,
why and how things have changed through the paperwork and contracts we're signing today. And I'm going to go over, my compensation and why that is.
yep,
And then here's what we can offer and incentivize to another party and why that is. And
yeah,
here's where it's at on the form. Man, I'm going into a lot of detail so
yeah,
they understand that. And I will ask the question, has anybody else gone over this with you in that kind of detail or at all? And most of the time, I think almost every time,
yeah,
honestly, when I've been in a multiple listing agent kind of competition, the sellers say, no, no one has covered that with us
yeah,
in that detail. And we've read a little bit and just didn't understand it. Like, thank you. And it's almost a difference maker
for
immediately.
sure.
And then when
Yeah,
you get in the market, know the market, marketing plans and all that,
yeah,
that can help. But man, I would say that is don't be afraid to go into those areas where they're probably going to have questions and you leave and they go, well, so we're incentivizing a buyer's agent, at X amount, or but in the paper, ChatGPT is saying we don't have to do that. They
Yeah.
still have the questions. I want to leave, no questions.
Yeah,
So at the
absolutely.
very end, and this is a powerful question for any real estate agent that you're not covering this, is at the very end of the appointment to say, hey, what have we not covered today that you think is important or that you would have a question about?
That's
And
good.
being
Yeah.
willing to just sit there in that silence and let them think about it. Because there's usually one thing that comes up that is a huge difference that I didn't bring up or they didn't originally ask because they didn't want to.
Right.
And then it's like, wow, that was the biggest thing we talked about all day
Yeah.
in that last question.
Yeah. Well, especially like you asking them, okay, what else that I haven't covered? Or, I don't want to sit here and just give you my entire sales pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I really want to hear your concerns, what you have going on. And I think doing
Yeah.
that really opens that conversation to where they'll feel more confident because there's like, wow, he answered all of our questions.
Yeah.
I kind of understand everything, that we didn't before. So
Yeah.
I really can see how that would really set you apart.
The one specific example I'll give
Yeah.
is there was 3 agents interviewing. Um, I was the 3rd one, and it's kind of either like a rule of thumb, you either want to be first or last,
Yeah.
right? Like go in and make the great impression or be the one at the very end that they're like, I'm tired of this process and we're just hiring the guy that's sitting in front of us.
Yeah.
So I was the last one, and I knew that, and I'd asked them before the interview. I said, "Hey, I know you're interviewing other agents. If they're any good, you're probably just going to want to hire them. But I would ask that I've carved out this time. Y'all have called me, asked a lot of questions. No matter what goes on the first 2 appointments, I'm just asking you to please keep our appointment no matter what."
Mhm.
And so I got to the appointment, and at the end of it, one of the spouses said, "Hey, they tried to cancel you."
Mm,
But I said, we have to keep our word because we said no matter what, we would keep honor your time that
yeah.
you've carved out. And I got the listing.
Nice.
And they
Yeah.
wanted to cancel previously, but I just gave them that question ahead of time.
Yeah.
And another appointment of multiple agents. At the end, I asked that question: is there anything that the other agents covered that I have not that y'all want to talk about? And said, well, one of them gives to a specific association here in town, our nonprofit. We really like that. And so, to be honest with you, we really feel like we need to move forward with them. So, hey, can I share a couple places that we also give?
Mm, yeah.
And after we got done, they were like, why don't you have that on the packet you sent us ahead of time? Because they did. And that kind of almost
Yeah.
made our decision right there. And I was like,
Right.
man, a lot of times we don't want to brag on ourselves and we're not called to do that anyway.
For
But
sure. Yeah.
how can we just share a story of what the seller is getting to help with and do when they hire us?
Yeah.
And then once I shared that, they also hired us to help them on that listing and would not have got that listing if I didn't ask that question of what another agent covered that we haven't. And they gave me an opportunity to speak to what we give to.
Yeah. That's powerful. And I
Awesome.
feel like,
Awesome.
with you being the very last person that they interviewed, you were able to positioned yourself to where you're like, hey, okay, what all have they told you? What
Sure.
all are you questioning that they've told you that I can try to help? And then that
Yeah.
kind of positioned you in a spot where you're like, well, I can answer all that, to where you're kind of
Absolutely.
doing all that. So
Yeah. You gotta have the mindset of no matter where you go, it's an advantage to you.
for sure.
So if you're
Yeah.
first, hey, great. I get to go knock it out of the park. And then they measure everybody against that. If you're last, you stated perfectly. You know what gone on if you ask that question and
Yeah.
how you can address each one of those for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My next question was, and you may have touched it with that story, is was there ever a time or a story or something that happened that changed the entire way that you did your listing presentation or how you went and got your next listings? Which, I mean, you kind of said something about giving to the nonprofits. So that may have changed a
Yeah.
little bit, but was there anything else kind of like specific?
Man, I could do too many of these stories. I'll give you quick examples, but
Yeah.
I've walked into somebody's house before and staging was very important to them.
Mm,
And it's like, hey, we'll definitely get to that
yeah.
and we'll talk through that. And
Was it vacant or they still living
they
there?
still live there,
Okay.
but they wanted some help staging their items. And I
Gotcha.
thought, hey,
Okay.
well, before we come back with photographer,
Yeah.
right? We'll cover all that. We have a stager that we could bring over,
Yeah.
but I did not put enough emphasis on it. And so when we got done and they chose another agent
Mm,
and they were gracious enough to talk to me on the phone to tell me that. And then I always ask the question if they don't choose me, hey, totally respect your decision. Thank you for allowing me to have the time to come visit with you guys. I want the best for y'all. Could you please just be honest with me? And it helps me get better, helps our team get better. What's the one reason why you went with another agent over us? And in that scenario, they said, Cole, we're actually going to list the house with the price that you gave, and it's lower than what the other agent said, but we felt you were a little more honest than that. We actually like some of your marketing things. So we told the other agent, we want you to do this for marketing. And they're going through all these things. And I'm like,
Just go with me.
all
Like,
the things
I'm
I
doing all
said.
this.
And they got to the very end and they said, the one thing that was very important to us that stood out with the other agent was they have a personalized stager. They said they could get there within the next 24 hours and start helping
Mhm.
us stage the home. And that just took all the stress away from me. And
Yeah.
that right there was enough. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could have done the exact same
You
thing.
could have just asked.
And but it was on me. It's
For
my
sure.
fault
Yeah.
because there was an
Bringing it up.
emphasis they put on that in the beginning. And I kind of pushed it off like, oh, yeah, that's not a problem at
Yeah.
all. We'll handle that. That's
Yeah.
like small potatoes.
Make their concerns your concerns.
Exactly. And
Absolutely.
I totally missed it.
Yeah.
So that's a big one is really listening and hearing from your sellers on what is most important to them and then isolating that to make sure you nail that. I think outside of that, just quick examples would be it just comes down to people. I mean, it's relationships. And to have the opportunity, what's important for me and what I've done, however many times, but there's a time that sticks out to me with praying with someone um, when I just asked them, "Hey, can I pray with you
Yeah.
about this?" I could tell they were just very
Absolutely.
stressed.
Yeah.
And man, she just starts bawling and she's like, "I have not prayed or no one has prayed with me one on one. It's been 10 or 15 years." And I thought, "Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
what are all the opportunities I've missed before this?"
Exactly.
And it just opened my eyes to see that more clearly and just make this more of an experience. And I don't want it to ever feel like a transaction.
For sure.
As agents, we just don't want that. We want people to know we care about them. And then on the flip side, an opportunity that I think has changed and shaped me is, a seller that's saying, "Hey, we want to use you, but we don't want to sign paperwork yet." Right. I'm like, okay, this is a referral from somebody. They're like, we'll do that later. I basically GC, general contract,
Yeah.
a flip for the next, 45 days
Yeah.
to help them line out everybody from flooring to paint to fixtures to remodeling bathrooms to doing all the work.
Yeah.
And I have a price suggestion. Oh, yeah, yeah, we'll go with that. Well, when we get to really signing the paperwork and listing the next day, it's hey, we want to list it $100,000 higher.
Yeah.
And if not, I mean, we'll just go with a different agent, you know? And I felt so trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You put in
emotional,
all
like,
that work at the very
yeah,
beginning, 45 days. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, we'll see. I mean, I guess I've done
Yeah.
all this work. I don't want to lose the listing
Right.
now.
For sure. Yeah.
And it does look better, not $100,000 better, but it
Yeah.
does look better. Well, it took a year to sell that house
Mhm.
and a lot of tough
For
conversations.
sure.
And it was the toughest transaction I've ever done.
Yeah.
And it taught me a lot. And so there's a lot of lessons there I won't go into, but I think just clear expectations. And when you sign on to start, I say sign on, I didn't sign on.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when you start really putting a lot of time, effort, and energy, it's okay to say, hey, I would like to go ahead and lay this out that we are going to work together and I'm ready to put all my time, effort, and energy
Yeah.
in. I will be spending time away from other clients, my business, my team, and my family, which is really important to me. And I'm ready to go all in for you guys. But if I'm going to do this,
I need y'all to
I
go
would,
all
I
in.
would like a commitment here. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with doing that in the right way.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot from the flip side of good things that I'm missing over here and
Right.
people that I need to be helping in a different way than just the real estate side. And then some poor things and expectations and decisions that I made that taught me a lot.
Yeah. You said something about like you want to make it more of a seller's experience in a
For sure.
transaction. And I think that's so powerful is you want to do everything in your power to make it as smooth as possible, because I mean, you're building friendships, you're building relationships.
Yeah.
It's not just like I'm here to sell your house and that's it and I'll see you later,
Yeah.
So I think that's really powerful of like I really want to build a seller experience.
Yeah.
So whenever they're done with this, they're like, wow, we got everything that we wanted. We have a friendship on the other side of it. And, we don't feel like, anything was messed up,
Yeah.
from this. So I think that's super powerful.
We call them great experiences
Yeah.
on our team. So instead of saying, hey, we want to do 150 transactions this year, 150 sides or
That's
buy
great.
sales or whatever, it's like, let's do 150 great experiences.
Yeah.
And I feel weird almost saying transaction earlier in this,
Right.
right? Because I don't like to use that
Yeah.
word.
Well, you're in it for
Um,
another reason. Like, like you're
Yeah.
yes, you're in it for the money, it's your job,
Yep,
but, you're kind of in it for the relationship and you're kind of in it helping these people, get to their next step, so yeah,
for
that's really
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what's one thing that you wish more realtors did, or understood about listing homes? So something that, that they may not be doing, that you're doing, that you kind of see, commonly that
Yeah.
everybody's doing? Um,
Okay, so every home would sell if it was priced accordingly.
yeah,
I mean, you can say, "No, not this listing I have, not this one." Well, if it's priced accordingly,
right.
if it's worth, just ARV, the value after it's fixed up, what would it be worth is 200 and you're willing to sell it for 70, it would sell. So, with that said, it goes back to the honesty and professionalism conversation is you have to be on a scale 1 to 10, a 10 of honesty with the seller. And there's care and candor, you've got to do it with care.
Yeah,
But man, they are hiring you to help them and guide them. And if you're not willing to be honest because you're afraid you're going to step on a seller's toes or they're not going to like that or they're not going to hire me, you're not putting them in the best situation to sell. And especially early on with agents that take their first listing or two,
yeah,
I mean, they're scared to tell them mow the yard,
for sure. Yeah.
scared to
Well,
tell
I've
them
I've
that
come across where they're saying like, I'm scared to tell them that their house stinks, like it kind of smells like pets.
I was literally going to say
You
it
know?
smells like dog.
Yeah,
You got to tell them it
yeah.
smells like dog.
But they're hiring you to market their house and get
Yeah,
the best for their house, and, like, if you're not telling them those things, I feel like it's a disservice, you know? Um,
absolutely.
but
I think that's the number one thing that helping listings is going in, being confident, and looking at it through the consumer's eyes.
mhm,
What are they going to see?
yeah,
What are they going to smell?
mhm.
What are they going to hear?
For
All these
sure.
things, and then being able to say, "Hey, man, I know y'all are hiring me to get this house sold, and to do that, I just want to be uh, totally open and honest with y'all on a scale 1 to 10, to 10 honesty. Are y'all okay if I'm honest with y'all?"
Yeah,
They're always going to say yes.
for
So
sure.
now they've opened the door. So I think
Yeah,
there's some coaching on how you do that and
mhm,
training of in a conversation to have them accept things like this.
yeah,
But are you okay if I'm honest with you? Yes, we are. And I'm going to tell you, in this room specifically, or in these two areas, I just noticed it smelled a little bit more like pet or specifically dog. I think
mhm.
that's the one thing that we're really going to have to remedy before we go to the market. And we go through carpet cleanings, and usually you don't want it to be the next day because those
Yeah,
smells come out. So we're gonna have to
right.
do those carpet cleanings, wait a few days, see what it's like,
Yeah,
and maybe have to retreat it again,
mhm.
right? But let me ask y'all. I mean, are y'all willing to do that? Or would you say, let's just replace the carpet? We're gonna spend $400 cleaning it or $1,200 to get brand new carpet in this room.
Yeah,
Is that an option for y'all? And so the greater questions you have lead to the greater results, the greater solutions. So just keep asking questions. Hey, just from curiosity. That's a great line. Just from curiosity, would y'all be willing to and lay it out there? Um, I think more people are appreciative of that and they're like, thank you so much. We can't smell that. We've been here
for
forever.
sure.
Or golly, Cole, it kind of hurts our feelings, but we do want our house to
Yeah,
sell. The last thing you want is the first three people that went through the home,
yeah,
which are probably the most serious because they've been watching the neighborhood, that price point.
100%.
The
Yep.
first people that get in are usually the most serious. They pass because of that, and now here we are sitting 2 weeks later, we're getting 0 showings
Yeah,
because we didn't handle something and the house would
very
already
beginning.
be under contract.
Yeah,
If you would have had just A, the courage, and B, maybe, the tactfulness of how to bring that about to them in a
for
caring
sure.
way.
And I feel like there's ways that you can kind of word some stuff to
Yeah,
where it doesn't seem like, "Hey, your house stinks. We need to fix it." You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
there's probably some easier ways to kind of come
Yeah,
about that to where it doesn't feel as, "I don't want to tell these people that their house stinks," like,
yeah,
So I think that probably comes back to the confidence thing, especially in telling somebody that you're in
yeah,
their house, you're telling them things about their house. Probably sharpening your skills of that confidence area, and then, like you said, kind of doing those trainings that y'all do,
yeah,
kind of prepares for those
yeah.
conversations, So I think that's such a great and powerful thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give like a bonus add-on to
Yeah.
this, like a side story that I think is I hope somebody listens to this and watches it, and you literally end up buying a property because of it, and then please tell me because 'cause it'd
Yeah.
be awesome to hear, but, when you're in a listing appointment, and this may be for, people who are looking to invest, agents who have been in the business for a little while, and you're looking to build your own portfolio,
Yeah.
um, you're always thinking too, would this be a good investment property for me if it was a win for them? Now, there's some legal stuff for sure. We have a fiduciary duty to tell them what market value is.
Yeah.
And I was sitting with some people one time, and they had a total black room of like skeletons and clowns and all these things painted all
Yeah.
over the place. So
Nice.
yeah, you already know it's like, okay, that's not going to appeal to most people.
For sure.
And they had a whole room that was just
Yeah.
on a different level. And I shared with them, hey, if y'all are willing to take all that stuff down, we paint the room, we do all the stuff, this would be the price we could sell at.
Yeah.
And they're like, God, that's a lot of work. And there was a few other things they would have to do, but it would significantly improve the value. You know, $30,000 or $40,000 if they do that,
Oh,
and it
wow.
was
Yeah.
less than $10,000 worth of work, probably 5,000 worth of
For
work.
sure.
And I'm telling you, this will make a huge difference for y'all. And they're like, well, there was an investor that said they would give. It was like 130, and I'm talking about 200.
Yeah. Okay.
Said they would do 130. We could just walk out. I'm like, oh, y'all be leaving so much money on the table.
That's
Like, if
crazy.
you just do these
Yeah.
things, I'm telling you, we could list the property at X. They're like, yeah, no, that sounds good. Well, let us think about it. And,
Yeah.
Monday we'll let you know. But yeah, we'll probably list it. We'll do those things because that's a lot more money. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, thank goodness.
Well,
Talk
only
to them.
putting in this amount of work and then you could
Exactly.
get this
I'm
much
like, talk them
return.
into it.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Talk to them on Monday. They call. Hey, Cole, just, Sunday afternoon hit us and we decided we just called that investor up and sold it. And we signed a contract with him yesterday. And I'm like, I would have paid 150 for that house.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all got 130, and now I can't tell them this, but I'm like,
For sure.
I was sitting at the table with them
Yeah.
where I easily they would have made 20 grand more
Hmm.
working with me and buying the property than they did with that investor.
Yeah.
And I missed out on what would have been a win for them, 20
Hmm.
grand more, and a win for us to put another home in our portfolio
Mm.
for my wife and I, and our future of our kids, and all these
For
things.
sure. Yeah.
And so I share this because I think it's super powerful that you're always running through this of, hey, here's what I think market value is.
Yeah.
We totally fixed it up. Here's what I think if you sell it as is, with a little bit of work. And then if you just wanted to walk away and you said, we don't want to go through showings and cleanings and remodel or any of this, I mean, this is a price that either I would be willing to give, or maybe you have investors lined up that I think we could get a cash investor in here quick
Mm.
and we'll be able to do this. Is that an option you're open to? And once I implemented that, we got several properties.
Yeah.
And some of those we even listed that they're like, no, Cole, thanks for giving that option. We'd rather list it. And then 4 months later, when it hasn't sold and they're going, man, we really need to sell this. You brought this up. And I'm saying,
Yeah.
hey, you're listed at 200. I think we could go to 189 or 190 and try that first
Yeah. And then
before
see
you just
about
take the
for
170.
sure.
And they just go, no, we don't want to. We're done with it. And we like you. And man, we know you do what you say. Let's just sign a contract. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
So again, there's a way to do that. We have a fiduciary duty. Like, I'm totally saying that. They need to know what they can get on the market,
Yeah.
like fixed up or not.
Hmm.
But man, I hope that's a story for somebody sitting at a table one day that you lay out all those options for them.
For sure.
And then if you don't have an investor that you can give that option, that's vital to your business to find one or ask other agents. And maybe, there's other agents buying properties you can do a deal with too. So
Yeah.
hopefully that helps.
That's such powerful too. Cause like you're sitting there at the table with them and, if they don't want to end up listing it for that price or they're like,
Yeah.
I'm just done with it. And like you are an investor yourself, then you'd be like, wow, this is a great opportunity, getting it straight from the person. I'm not having to out search for this,
Yeah.
Or the same thing you said, like if you have investor friends that, kind of do that, you can be like, I have an
Yeah.
investor that may come in, cash deal. So that's how is there some kind of fine line, which I don't know, with
Absolutely.
you're having to tell them this and not bring that up first, like, I'll buy your house cash. Like, you know what I mean? Is there some kind of
Yeah.
thing
So
there?
there's only, a handful of scenarios you actually go into this, right? I
Yeah,
mean, for me, there's not going to be a $500,000 house that I'm like, man, this could be a rental property.
for
Like,
sure.
you kind of see, if you gain the trust of, okay, do they have a certain timeline? Are they facing foreclosure? All these things. What are the solutions? You put them all out there. But no doubt, I outline it in writing and put it in an email with each one.
Yeah.
Hey, these were your options that we talked through. 200K is what we talked about.
Yeah.
If you did these fixes and put it on the market, would love to do that for you. Then we said, probably 185 is where it's at right now. And then 160, you could just walk out and not do anything, right? And we signed a contract. But that's in writing, which I think is valuable
Mhm.
because there's been situations around here where people have bought houses and then they go up for sale. And the seller's like, wait a second,
Yeah.
you
gonna
bought it
say
from
if there's
me for
something
300 and you relisted at 500 a week later
Yeah.
and you didn't tell us this is what it's worth. So yes, by far, put it in writing, be very clear, open and honest. And if God opens that door, he will, but we're
For
not
sure.
doing it in a way to manipulate
Yeah.
somebody.
Like, you definitely don't need to go into it. It's like, this is my mental, like, this is what I'm, this is what I want to go into, and I'm going to instantly tell them like, hey, I'm going to buy your house, like cash
Yeah.
deal. Like there's something that you got to put there,
It's
so
the
they don't.
questions you ask the seller
Yeah.
to get very curious. And again, the deeper the questions, the better the questions, the more that you understand of their situation. And most of the time, the number one priority for the seller is to net the most amount of money.
Yep.
Most of the time. So
Yeah.
if that's the case, then yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not even bringing that up a lot. We're going to the market
For sure.
to net you the most amount of money
Well,
most
that's
of
why
the
they
time.
hired you. That's why you're.
Sometimes it's timing, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's we have to be here because of a medical situation, taking care of parents, starting a new job, and our kids have to start school from day one, and our family's not going to split. We're going
Yeah.
to live all together,
Almost
right?
forced to do something like
Um,
that.
right. And so, man, but the better questions you ask, the better situation you end up to. And sometimes that leads to that conversation. Hey, let me just ask you,
Yeah.
would this be a win for y'all?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. Okay. That was good. I think kind of wrapping it up.
Yeah.
This whole conversation, if there's one thing that an agent can get out of everything that you would want to tell them, what would it be?
Man, I'm big on authenticity and not the fake it stuff.
Yeah.
It's just being super honest, be you, and that you only have so much passion and energy, and go put it in that spot that you think is going to yield the most success for you. Don't feel like you have to do it someone else's way. Um, and still, like we were just talking about this on our team a couple days ago, is something is better than nothing. And,
That's
and
good.
so there's got to be action. If you're not willing to get into action, if you're not willing to get a little uncomfortable, doing it as you in an authentic way, it's going to be hard to be in sales and in real estate.
Yeah.
And and when you're authentic, you get into a relationship. And so these are like dominoes, and then that relationship leads to trust. And we talked about trust being the number one thing for people to list their house
Yep.
because when people are listing, most of the time listings conversations and why they're moving starts months before anybody else knows.
For sure.
Job promotions, moving closer to family, maybe divorce, bad health. Their kids, they're having a tough situation in their school. And they don't want to share that with that circle, and they're
Yeah.
trying to find a new school for them. Man, a lot of it is tough stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're in a relationship with them and they trust you, then you'll get that listing a lot of times just based off of that.
Yeah.
Buyers are happy and excited and throwing their hands up to
For sure.
everybody. We're looking for this. We're looking for that.
Yeah.
Sellers, it's
A little
different.
different.
You have to be in relationship and in trust. And so stay connected with people and be authentic. You don't have to be salesy. You just have there's two parts to it.
Yeah.
And we talk about this a lot is be a really good friend. And then when that door opens, you need to show up as a professional,
For sure.
not just treat them as a friend, but then they see we're not just hiring them because you're a friend.
Yes.
They're also very good at it.
Yeah. They can back up what they're saying.
That's right. And
Like
sometimes you'll
absolutely.
get business off of just being a professional. They look online and find things
For sure.
and like your work. And sometimes you'll get it off of just being a friend.
Yep.
But if you are a great friend and you are a professional, then you're rarely going to miss on business when that door opens. So it just starts with being authentically you and connecting with people, developing relationships.
Yeah. That's so good. Well, awesome. That's super powerful. I appreciate you coming on as the very first on this podcast.
Thanks, man.
I hope that people can take from this conversation and use it in their own business. They can kind of take some knowledge nuggets out of this and use it for, their next listing.
Dude, and major high five to you
Yeah,
for starting this. It's not easy. It's a lot of time, a lot
for
of
sure.
resources. And like you've got great questions, great insight. You're
Yeah.
wanting to bring like real value
Hmm.
where it's like all the hidden secrets that people think that they
Yeah.
have or whatever. It's like, man, the more we share together, the better we can get. And it's just a mindset of abundance. And so that's where you're coming from
Yeah.
is
Absolutely.
you're going to give your time, a mindset of abundance to help give value to others, which is huge, man. We
Yeah.
all need it. I can't wait to see who you have on next and
Yeah.
listen and learn from them. And man, big shout out to you. I want to tell you
Well,
thank you.
Thank you. And that's kind of the mindset behind this is I just want to give a little bit more to some people that may not have the confidence in that next listing or, not really educate them, but remind them that, of course, because I do real estate media, that this media is not only marketing that house, we're marketing your brand, we're marketing, your portfolio to where you
Absolutely.
can go and get that next listing. But also, I wanted to bring on some people that have been there and kind of give some insights of like, hey, this is how we've got our listings. just to give them some knowledge. So that's kind of the whole basis around, why I started this is
Yeah.
just to give a little bit more back. So
Hey, well, shout out to you. Shout out to
yeah,
all the Lubbock Realtors. We have an amazing association, a ton of good agents, great agents
yeah,
that I enjoy working with.
yeah,
And we don't hear that in all the markets. When I talk to somebody in Dallas, they're going to work with that agent one time ever, and the things they do or
for
say to
sure.
each other versus here,
Yeah,
man, it's small, big town. So we get to work together frequently.
yeah.
And really, we have a ton of great
It's all kind
professionals
of
here.
close knit,
Yeah, it's
like
awesome.
absolutely small big
Yeah.
town. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it.
So I'm going to be dropping these every other Thursday. Next Thursday, I'll have another YouTube video coming out. So definitely stay tuned. If you like this video, let me know if there's anybody that you'd like to have on. Share it with somebody that you think would help. But thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one.